Some heroes are unforgettable, but sometimes the characters standing next to them, or even trying to beat them, steal the entire show. SNK has given us some of the most iconic protagonists in fighting and action games, but it's often their rivals, teammates, or even villains who end up being way cooler. Get ready for some controversial picks, a heavy dose of nostalgia, and maybe a few of your favorites getting dethroned. From stylish rivals to unshakable professionals, this is our countdown of the top 10 SNK characters cooler than the main hero. When Shun debuted as XIII's new poster boy in XIII, SNK clearly wanted him to be the next Kyo. Problem is, he's kind of bland. His fighting style is fine, but his character design, it's a mess. Too many colors, too many accessories, like SNK was desperately trying to please everyone in one character. Instead, we got a walking fashion disaster who feels more like a marketing experiment than a hero. Then XIII dropped Isla, and suddenly Shun wasn't the only new kid in town. Isla had attitude, style, and enough personality in her ride stance alone to make Shun look like he was still buffering. The graffiti-themed powers, snarky tones, and streetwear aesthetic gave her instant fan appeal. She's not perfect either. Her bratty attitude and very anime cliché personality can get annoying, and that's why she's at number 10. But even with her flaws, she's still way more interesting, memorable, and frankly, cooler than the guy SNK keeps telling us is the hero. Shock Troopers is one of those forgotten Neo Geo gems, a fast overhead run-and-gun where you blast your way through armies, vehicles, and the occasional over-the-top boss. It's got a colorful roster of mercenaries, each with their own weapons and personality. The hero is Jackal, a totally serviceable but forgettable soldier. Then there is Mary B, short blonde hair, rocket launcher for grenades, and a calm professional demeanor that makes her feel like the most competent person in the room. She's so good the devs had to nerf her. She takes more damage than other characters just to balance her absurd firepower. Without that, everyone would have picked her. Jackal is just the tutorial guy you stop using once you realize Mary exists. The Art of Fighting series was SNK's way of showing off big detailed sprites and flashy special moves. Unfortunately, its main hero, Ryo Sakazaki, was about as generic as they come. The orange gi, the stoic martial artist vibe, even the name felt like he was just a mashup of Street Fighter's Ryu and Ken. Now Robert Garcia is already a solid contender for cooler than Ryo. The flashy kicks, the playboy persona, the style, but for me it's always been King. She's got the sharp suit, the Muay Thai strikes, and the backstory that makes her more interesting than any earnest karate guy arc ever could. Even if the first Art of Fighting was rough to actually play, and you couldn't even select her in arcade mode, King still saw the spotlight from the so-called main hero. Kizna Encounter, the sequel to Savage Reign, was SNK trying to mix tag team mechanics with weapon-based combat. Its main hero, Sho Hayate, was a boomerang-wielding martial artist who was fine, but pretty forgettable. Outside of being the game's cover, he didn't leave much of an impression. Kim Soo-il, on the other hand, came in swinging, literally with a staff, sharp kicks, a cool factor of a crime-fighting detective, and a pair of sunglasses. He felt like he had a reason to be there beyond just main character energy. His clean design, confident personality, and mix of weapons and martial arts gave him way more style than Hayate's generic hero vibe. Back in the original Ikari Warriors, Ralph and Clark were basically the same guy with different colors, two cheap Rambo clones blasting their way through enemy lines. Personality? Barely there. Differences? Cosmetic at best. But over the years, SNK gave them identities, and that's where Clark pulled ahead. While Ralph became the loud, hot-headed demolitions guy, Clark took the silent professional route. Stoic, efficient, and always wearing those iconic sunglasses, even mid-Argentine backbreakers. where Wolf screams and charges, Clark just adjusts his shades and gets the job done. Cool, collected, and lethal, Clark made quite badass look effortless. Samurai Shodown's main hero, Aomaru, is your classic brush wandering swordsman. Big swings, big drinking, and a personality loud enough to fill the arcade. He's fun, but subtlety isn't exactly in his vocabulary. Ukio Tachibana, on the other hand, is everything Aomaru isn't. Quiet, graceful, and deadly with a single draw of his blade. Fighting while battling a terminal illness, he turns every match into a poetic duel, his calm demeanor masking lethal precision. Even his design, pale complexion, flowing hair, elegant stance, scream style. Aomaru might be the face of Samurai Shodown, but Ukio is the one who feels like a legend. You don't just beat opponents as Ukio, you cut them down in a single, perfect moment. In Metal Slug, Marco Rossi is the textbook run-and-gun hero, confident, skilled, and always ready with a smile after mowing down 100 enemies. He's the poster soldier of the series. But Fiu Jeremy, she is the real star. Coming from a wealthy family, she could have lived a life of comfort, yet she throws herself into some of the most dangerous missions imaginable. Her slightly clumsy, almost awkward demeanor only makes her more endearing, and when the bullet starts flying, she is as capable as anyone else on the team. Sure, Termarovin with his cool sunglasses and laid-back attitude could also give Marco a run for his money, but Fiu's mix of charm, skill, and fearless commitment has made her the undeniable fan favorite. She's proof that you don't have to be the loudest or flashiest to steal the show. The Last Blade was SNK's beautiful melancholic take on weapon-based duels, and its main hero, Kaede, even had a flashy trump card, turning into a lightning-haired avatar of a deity even mid-match of the first game. On paper, he should have been unforgettable. In practice, not so much. Then came The Last Blade 2, and with it, Ibuki Takane, a polite yet deadly swordswoman who wasn't even in the first game, yet somehow became the most beloved character in the series. Her appeal went beyond her refined design and precise swordplay. Over the course of a single playthrough, her personality and story could evolve dramatically, creating a depth that few fighting game characters ever reach, which I've already done a whole video about. Ibuki's impact was so strong that she became the unofficial poster child for the series, even earning a slot in Capcom vs SNK 2. In the end, she effortlessly eclipsed everyone in The Last Blade, including the guy who could literally go Super Saiyan. Back to KOF, Kyo Kusanagi is the classic shonen fighting game protagonist, house-blooded, heroic, and packing flashy fire-based attacks. He's been the face of the series since day one, and SNK has done everything to keep him in that spotlight. But then there is Yori Agami, Kyo's rival, his opposite, and in many ways, his replacement in the hearts of fans. With his wild fighting style, distinctive crimson outfit, and that unhinged, almost feral energy, Yori oozes style in a way Kyo never quite could. His design alone screams main character, yet his personality, equal parts aloof, violent and cool, is what cements his appeal. Over the years, Yori became more than just a rival. He became the reason many players picked up KOF in the first place. Kyo may be the official hero, but Yori is the one fans cheer for when the two face off, and often the one they pick when it's time to win. Now this might be our most controversial pick yet. Terry Bogard is the face of SNK, a fan favorite, endlessly likable, and the company's go-to representative in countless crossover games. He's upbeat, iconic, and easily one of the most recognizable fighting game heroes of all time. But as great as Terry is, we can't deny it. Geese Howard is just cooler. The main villain in Fatal Fury and Art of Fighting isn't your average evil boss. He's layered with a compelling backstory rooted in ambition, loss, and ruthless determination. Sure, he's a criminal mastermind, but he's also a disciplined martial artist with an iron will. And then there's the fact that Geese refuses to stay dead, literally. Even after his dramatic fall from a building, he keeps coming back. Sometimes in canon as a nightmare haunting Nightmare Geese, other times in non-canon appearances just because fans can't get enough of him. Terry may be the hero everyone knows and loves, but Geese is the kind of character you can't stop watching. Whether he's dominating the arena or defying death itself, Geese is simply one of the best villains, not only in SNK games, but in fighting games in general. That's why he's our #1 pick for the cooler than the main hero list. Which of these cool figures is your favorite? Or perhaps you have another favorite in mind that I didn't mention. Either way, I'd love to read your answer in the comments section below. Special thanks to my patrons for their support. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and why not consider subscribing to the channel. Thanks for watching.